Caroline Leavitt just held her annual lie-a-thon where she goes in front of the American public at the White House podium and lies, this time for about an hour. What was incredible is that a reporter asked her a question, knowing the answer. She gave the wrong answer, and he quickly corrected her. But that's just the beginning. There is so much to go through. Let's get through all of it. First, Caroline, who does not read from a book at all. She just, I guess it's easy to not have to be prepared when you're just making stuff up. But she said that Trump is committed to ending no tax on tips.
Is committed to passing a big reconciliation package later this year, ending no taxes on tips, taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security for our hardworking seniors. And we encourage...
Bit of a Freudian slip there. I don't believe Donald Trump is at all intending to actually stop tips being taxed. So I agree with her there. For once in her life, she might have actually told the truth. He is committed to ending us talking about that policy. A reporter also asked her how the president defines a bad judge, because as you know, Donald Trump is now attacking the judiciary system because judges are striking down his illegal and unconstitutional actions as president. Here's what she had to say.
Our understanding, and that's the truth.
And if I could ask a question about the judge as well. How does a president define a bad judge? Is it just someone who disagrees with him? And is that a dangerous precedent in this case, because this is a temporary ruling from Judge Boasberg that he could ultimately rule in your favor? Is he setting up a standard here for calling for the impeachment of a judge who may ultimately rule on your side?
No, it has nothing to do with disagreeing with the president on policy. It's with disagreeing with the Constitution and the law. And it's trying to usurp the authority of the executive branch of this country. It's having baseless reasoning for these injunctions. And it's a clear effort by these judges to slow roll this president's agenda.
Slow roll. The only one that knows how to slow roll the judicial system is Donald Trump, who avoided any sort of prosecution around his many criminal attempts to overthrow the 2020 election. I will never get over it. I will never get over it. It'll be on my tombstone. Donald Trump tried to steal the 2020 election. That's what my tombstone will say, because I am never going to get over that. I don't care if we've all moved on. I have not moved on. All right, reporter, mainstream media, many news outlets here today are complicit here. They chose to, yeah, so this is what happens when you have a right-wing reporters in the press room, because this is a crazy-ass question. There's this whole movement in the right-wing media system right now where they want to have Trump pardon Derek Chauvin. That is the man who killed George Floyd. He got sentenced for it. And now there's this kind of movement to pardon him. And here's what that man had to say.
Secretary Leavitt, some prominent Trump supporters have been making the case that Derek Chauvin deserves a pardon. They argue that he did not receive a fair trial. Joe Biden and other Democrats actually implied that he was guilty while the trial was going on. BLM rioters had these jurors under immense threat and pressure. Mainstream media, frankly, many news outlets here today are complicit here. They chose to ignore the autopsy report. They chose to ignore the full body camera footage. They decided to slander Derek Chauvin as a racist cop instead. Does the administration believe Derek Chauvin received a fair trial, and will they consider a pardon moving forward?
The president has been asked and answered this question. He said it's not something he's considering at this time.
All right, who cares what Donald Trump says? Because he's a liar, so is she. He could very well do it. But the important thing is that was not a question. That was 38 seconds of a speech from someone who has a political point of view. That's not a reporter. But that is who's in the press office now, is propagandists. This is the best part. Are you ready for this? All right, so Caroline Leavitt says the judge who they're trying to get impeached is a Democratic activist. They say Democrat because it sounds wrong, because it is, because Democrat is a noun. Democratic is an adjective. They say Democrat. I hate that. It's so stupid. It's Democratic. It's like if we said Republic President Donald Trump. Anyways, that's besides the point. Here, a reporter then quickly corrected her.
And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
Took me right where I wanted to go about the idea that these people are all foreign terrorists, but Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
Well, let me just, in this judge.
So they want to get rid of a judge that Bush nominated. As Alex Cole said here, Levitt could have Googled this before opening her mouth. Yeah, it looks like she's looking at papers, actually, which is unusual for her. I wonder what lies are on there. I have more reactions here. Aaron Parnas says, Caroline Levitt is trying to gaslight the American public. Judge Boasberg was appointed by George W. Bush in 2002. He was elevated by President Obama in 2011 and was confirmed 96-0 with every Republican supporting his elevation to the federal bench. Ron Filipkowski says, when you make a right-wing Twitter troll White House press secretary, yes. Vertex says, geez, does she look anything up before she shoots her mouth off? Luke Clark said, can she really be this stupid? Unfortunately, yes, Luke. She can, and she is. And she continues to have her job because she knows how to lie. Tyrone Green said, this is why they hate being fact-checked. Yes, this is why they hate being fact-checked. And then this is my favorite, bitch. He's like, Pinocchio. But instead of her nose growing, she's aging a day every time she tells a lie. Bill says press X should be ashamed of not having her facts checked before inserting her foot into her mouth, with a nice little gif right here. Okay, so then a reporter asks about those supposed gang members, alleged gang members, that were flown to El Salvador illegally. Let's listen to that. And then a reporter had a great follow-up question that I want to show you.
Back to those deportation flights to El Salvador, can the administration provide any more details on how authorities determined that each of those men were in fact members of a gang? And if the White House can publish images, photos, videos of those men, why can't the administration just release basic information like their identities and names?
We are not going to reveal operational details about a counterterrorism operation, but what I can assure you, as I said on Monday, we have the highest degree of confidence in our ICE agents and our Customs and Border Patrol agents who have committed their lives to targeting illegal criminals in our country, particularly foreign terrorists.
Well, reports came out that those people who were deported may have been undocumented, but they had no criminal history. And now they are going to literally be tortured in one of the hardest detention centers in the world. So that's what's happening, okay? And they know who they are, or they might not know who they are. I don't know. This White House might actually have a sense of who they've rounded up and are throwing into these torture facilities. But that is what's happening, and we have to be on it. And it's such a great point that if we can release images of them, videos of them, pictures of them, why can't we release their names? Because they're hiding something. That's why. She is so bad at this. She is so bad at this. But we have to stay on it because we have to counter the lies. We have to counter the lies.